Can you suck in?
I'm sucking in. Well, we have very tight here because
you have to let me through.
Because I have green screen here.
Okay,
That means
live.
you only see me on the chair. You don't see it.
You're live. You're on Facebook.
I hear an echo, Bill, again.
Again?
Yep.
I don't hear echo when you
No,
talk.
I know. It's my thing.
Let me have that phone.
Say.
Okay, it's fixed.
Okay, now
Say
I
to Facebook.
say something.
Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good. It's just this Facebook, so I hope it's gonna work.
Yeah, we'll try. Not
Okay.
a big deal.
Here's your iPad.
Okay.
And where's your computer outside?
Downstairs. No, it's in our bedroom. You have to turn it on. Okay, so tell me, Bill, how I go live.
You are live.
I am?
Yes, I told you.
Oh, okay. So we are live. I didn't even know. So hello, everybody. Hello, Facebook Live. Now I didn't know I was live. Oh yes, we are live. So you can click share, Marina. So I'm just trying something new. So for those who have been following me with my live streaming cooking classes, so I'm doing something new. This is the series that I'm going to be doing with my amazing friends, entrepreneurs. And today I want to introduce you to my good friend Marina Jacobi, who is she's gonna tell you some fun things about quantum consciousness. So let's see. So hi, Marina.
Hi, how are you?
You have to mute your iPad.
Yes, I'm trying to mute the iPad, but for some reason it's not muted. Hi, how are you? Okay, I gotta stop this because it's not.
On the side.
Okay, I'm gonna turn it off and I'm not gonna see it because it was not shut it off.
Maybe your husband can help you. So tell us a little bit about you and what you do, and then I'm gonna be going to be asking you some questions.
Well, I was very little when I had a connection with higher beings and vivid dreams, and I started doing automatic writing that went through the years, and I had disabilities to predict what's going to happen because the dreams were so vivid that I would know what's going to happen 2 years from now or the next day with loved ones. And when I ended up growing older, I was able to go to U.S. And in 2010, I was contacted from beings that they call themselves the hybrids. And they end up start teaching me the structure of our existence, of consciousness, everything to quantum structures of physics. They will point out different scientists that I would, for example, study a fraction of their material, but was never the entire material of a scientist, because I've realized that everybody has a piece of the puzzle. Nobody knew the entire truth of everything. So I've realized that we have to work in collaboration. And they were teaching me how to detox. I had a thyroid issue that I taking care of, not through medications, but through detox and raw diet. And after that, I have different beings talking to me and gave me abilities to download a material that is for advanced technologies, how we can advance and heal ourselves through frequency, sound, and including teleportation devices, nanotechnology. So if you go to my website, marinajacobi.com, the 2 books are there for downloads, and I know it's very advanced, but what they told me that if people read it, it's basically 5th-dimensional structure, which is above 3-dimensional, and it's going to rewire your synapses of your brain, and you're putting that in the collective for probability of reality. The beings taught me about parallel realities, quantum manifestation, how you can manifest, and how you're a hologram, and how fundamental is the diet that we have in order to reach a level of above 3-dimensional structure, because your consciousness and your body has to be one unit. and that was the reason why they wanted me to detox, so I can raise the frequency of my body, the vibration of the molecules of the body, in order to have eventually a physical contact. Because you can have a physical contact with higher consciousness, but they have to withhold the vibration. The whole goal is our body to be the vessel to that void in order to be able to connect with different beings, because your body is made from the structure of the universe, and you are the universe. That's what fundamentally is the most important thing that we need to learn. And what I teach is the quantum structure, how you can manifest, how you can do diet, particularly juicing because then the cells are resonated in a very high frequency that becomes more silica. And the silica can hold very big resonance in your body, including changing your DNA. The diet is also changing your DNA.
Great. So for my followers and people who watch my cooking classes and they are interested in raw vegan diet, this could be like, wow, this is a lot of information. So let's break it down. And for those who, maybe some of these things sounds like weird, what are we talking about? Just imagine that you're talking to like higher consciousness or something, and you're just getting messages, because that's what you do. You do like you channel, basically. So there are many people who channel stuff, and so different than like Bashar or Abraham or all these
No,
other
I'm
things.
not.
Yeah.
Basically, everybody can channel. You just have to open up your consciousness, and in order to channel different vibrational sequences, you have to match the frequency of your consciousness. Has to be a very similar resonance as these beings in order to make a connection telepathically.
Perfect. So now I want to, for some, quantum physics and quantum manifestation, quantum consciousness, maybe like, what are we talking about? So let's start maybe with like the food and the detox and the juicing, and maybe we'll go, we kind of do it, flip around. So why do we need to detox? And why, why our body, why we need all these things, the raw diet, changing our habits, what is your perspective on this?
Well, it's fundamental because if I may just implement that consciousness itself, it's made from sound, frequency, and light. And when you combine this frequency into trinity of structures, becomes plasma and gravitational field. And this plasma and gravitational field has a different resonance, a vibration of density, how strong it is, and creates matter, depending of whatever the frequency that is. So we basically are created from that plasma when you become a consciousness. That's how your body is created in the structure of the quantum field. And the reason why we need the diet is because in order to reach higher levels of resonances, like realities that are above three-dimensional structure, because the planet Earth is evolving into fifth-dimensional new Earth. It's time for ascension. And in order to do that, your body has to be very pure in a resonance in order to match that new level of frequency. It's basically, we're talking about similar on vibration frequencies that you have to carry in your body, in yourselves, and including your consciousness, in order to make the shift into the fifth-dimensional structure, in order to project the fifth-dimensional structure in your consciousness, because you actually are projecting a hologram in order to experience fifth-dimensional structure. So this is the reason why it's so fundamental for us to detox, and particularly juicing, because the juicing will flush everything from your body to it's easier. Basically, everything that you accumulated through the years of pollution, of different diet of the GMO, and all the chemicals and everything from the chemtrails that was done through the years, including meat, is very dense energy, needs to be completely cleansed out of the system. And the best way to do is through life force plantation that the frequency of the plants is higher than something that is basically cook or meat. It's much, much higher. It's a life force that actually gonna vertebrate through your entire body, of entire immune system, and it's actually making your cells vibrating in a very high speed of frequency that is above the density that you're running it at the moment. And when you end up juicing, you're cutting off the mashing. You know, from the juice, you're drinking basically the life force. The life force is the real juice from the plants. That goes directly into your bloodstreams. You don't have to go through the stomach and to make all the fiber out. When it goes directly into your blood, you're actually preserving more energetic force because you're not taking the energy at the same time out of the body to process the food in order to get into a juice, then to go into the bloodstreams. So when we do that, the life force that we're preserving is much higher, and the juice is 100 times more potent than actually that's something that you're eating, live or dead. If you're eating a salad, for example, the salad, you still have to process it in order to go into the bloodstreams because we actually extracting the juice. The juice is the life force. And the fiber just goes away. But the life force of the plantations is definitely the juice force of it. And if it's anything that is cooked, basically, if you cook the plant, basically that life force in there, it's completely dead. It's still sustaining you, but it's not raising the frequency of your body and of your consciousness. It's actually staying stabilized. Is the same, but you cannot basically, if you, for example, sick, and you want to overwrite the negative frequency that you're vibrating on, because obviously you lower the frequency of your body in order to get sick from one way or another, you need to override that, and you need to make yourselves very alive with higher frequency in order to override the frequency that you recently end up vibrating on. So in order to do that, you need the life force juicing, and definitely organic and non-GMO plantation.
Okay, I have a question. So for some of the people, they may be like, what is frequency? So I know from you and from all this, spiritual teachers that I've been following for years, that the highest frequency of the universe is love. But like yes, am I right?
Yes, it is the higher frequency. Frequency is actually a vibration, the speed of something that is moving. If you have a molecule, for example, or it could be, for example, a pencil that I have here. If I move the pencil this way, you can measure how fast this pencil is moving, and that's what it's called, the frequency. But if you start moving it so quickly, then the frequency is basically increasing. Okay, basically the frequency, you can measure it for 1 second. Per 1 second, how many times this pencil end up moving? If I move for 1 second the pencil one time, that is 1 hertz, for example. But if I move in 1 second the pencil twice, then it's 2 hertz. That's how you measure the frequency, and latitude and altitude, is also important. Basically, how fast something is moving. And faster you're moving, faster you're going into different vibrational sequences that is above three-dimensional structure of Earth, because three-dimensional structure Earth is vibrating a specific frequency of vibration, the way it's moving, everything the way it's moving. Remember how the crickets, for example, they have a music? And you can hear them, and it's so quickly, but if you lower it, actually I saw the other day, I posted on Facebook, actually is the songs of the symphony, literally, of a beautiful symphony. It was incredible when I was listening to it. It was so powerful. But in actuality, when we end up hearing it, we're hearing it in such a high frequency of a vibration that it doesn't really make sense to us. Well, this is how another vibrations are of existence. They're in such a high vibration of speed per 1 second that is literally disappearing of our range of basically the way we see things. So you don't see it, but it at the same time is existing. So because you have, that means that at the same time there's a lot of worlds and a lot of realities that exist at the same time, collaborating with ours and coexisting with our reality of 3 dimension, but we don't see them because we simply are not vibrating in that vibrational resonance. But once we start learning all this stuff, and once we raise the diet, and once we start consciously be nice to people and do it everything through the heart, the diet and that behavior, it's one unit, then you're going to start connecting your consciousness and reaching a different resonance of these worlds, and you're going to be able to telepathically connect, all of a sudden shift into a reality that is above these 3-dimensional realities. That's how things work. It's all about vibration and matching different frequencies in the universe of realities.
Perfect. So, and for those who just joining, I know a lot of people are asking, and if you have questions, you can. I see some people are asking questions. Awesome. We're gonna check questions later. So for those who are just joining, so Marina actually works with many scientists around the world. So this is not just this like woo-woo stuff. This is actually scientifically proven. This is quantum physics. This is not something that we learned when we were back at school. Yes, the universe is changing. The information is changing, and we are here to teach you this, because this is what you do. You humanitarian. You how you call yourself? You are an energy philanthropist, which I love this.
Yes,
this
energy
saying.
philanthropist. They taught me that when I was talking to the higher consciousness. They made me realize that it's fundamental for us to start giving from the heart, and not to put a condition to people of how much or whatever, because then you open up the entire quantum structure of the field through any probabilities and any way your abilities in your gifts to come from. For example, one person may donate to you, the next person can give you a gift, or you can simply go outside and find whatever you need. It's to infinity probabilities they said what can happen into your reality. And all that teachings, if you go to YouTube and you put Marina Jacobi Quantum Manifestation, it's part 1, part 2, part 3. It's all there. I'm in front of a whiteboard, and you can learn everything step by step. I know it's a bit complex, but the truth is, if we learn the existence of our reality and who we truly are, that you are consciousness itself, and that you're projecting everything, that you're a hologram, you will be able to construct and deconstruct your reality the way you wish to. And that is fundamental. Is actually in the quantum structure, 1 + 1 = 3. What does that mean? That means from one reality and another reality, you co-create third reality that is basically a mixture of those two realities. That's how the math is for that. And also in the consciousness itself, everything is to infinite amount of probabilities. So anything could happen, anything is possible. So if you know how to do that, you will be able to manifest everything you wish to the way you wish to, instead of everything going randomly. So your questions of why this happened to me, or why I'm in that location, why do I get this sickness, why this person comes after me, you need to understand that whatever you put out as an emotion is that what you get back, because your emotions and your thoughts actually could be measured. Their frequencies and vibrations, they have a sequence and they have a geometric pattern. Scientists can measure that. So that's how they know in what rate of frequency your brain is resonating when they end up measuring that stuff. So the reason why this so fundamental is because you need to understand that in a quantum structure, you don't have to see it to believe it. You actually have to believe it, take an action in order to see it, because you are the quantum structure of the universe. You are the particles in the universe, is said, and you are projecting everything you see at the same time.
It's like in fairy tales, like Dorothy at Oz. He told her you have to believe it. Because
you have to believe it first. You have to know it first, because you know how we have this old saying, oh, I don't believe it if I don't see it. This is exactly the opposite. That was actually something that was completely given to us in a wrong way, but this is not how we are made from. You are pure light of consciousness, vibrational sound, and you project everything right now. If everybody turns around and see whatever is in a room, keep in mind that whatever you see in your room right now is literally projected out of your consciousness as a hologram and feels density because of the vibrational sequence that you're vibrating in this moment. That's how it's constructed. Because if you put your body under electronic microscope, you're not going to see molecules. You're going to see pure light.
And this is this energy force. This is not something new, because this was called prana, like in yoga. This was called
Absolutely.
chi in
Very-
Chinese
yeah.
medicine. So this is something, you know, that all these cultures have been talking about for many thousands of years. So this is not something new, but the science is just catching up. So now I have. What do you want to say?
Oh, yes. I mean, this has been known from centuries in the old teachings and stuff like this. For some reason, end up being twisted in a certain way. And right now, we're coming back to our origins and where we're coming from and the connection with our higher selves. And knowing everything like that, you will be able to really co-create realities for yourself that are absolutely beautiful. It doesn't have to be pain and suffering.
Perfect. So today I had a lot of questions about that I want to talk to you. It's about adrenal fatigue. So adrenal fatigue, it's maybe not even recognized, but like medical professionals, they saying, you know, it doesn't really exist. But I feel like, you know, me as a health coach, that we live in this society where we are always rushing, and double point for somebody who knows where our adrenals. Actually, let's see if somebody's going to put in the comments if people actually know where our adrenals in our body. But so with the GMO, with all these toxins, you know, in all these pesticides, herbicides, the toxins we putting on our skin, with makeup, skincare, cleaning products, you know, birth controls, you know, vaccines, and all this different stuff, you know, our adrenals. And because we're not resting, not rushing, always stressing out, you know, always bombarded with all this negative in the media, in all these, you know, Facebook, and we can't relax, and our adrenals are going really down. So what do you have to say about this? Like, how can we feel better?
What they were saying while you were talking, they were saying that actually the adrenal glands is fundamental structure for converting the energetic force from all the sections of the energetic force into flushing out. So actually your adrenal glands are fundamental to flush out your immune system. Basically they say it's a regulator. That's what they just said. It regulates the resonance of when something needs to stop and when something needs to go. Releasing energy in and out. That's what the adrenal glands. Oh, and they mentioned, and that's why you call it adrenal, like a flushing.
Okay.
Like draining.
So I know a lot of you, and actually I have a basket here. I'm going to be showing you some stuff that we can later, when I ask you the questions, that things that you can actually, what people can do every day to make our adrenal, you know, stronger and better, and detox. But definitely caffeine, alcohol, processed sugar, you know, not sleeping, not resting, and all these things. As I said, the GMO, all these processed food, you know, drinking soda, sugar, processed sugar. You know, when you're consuming all these things every day, you know, your adrenals and stress, you know, they shut down. But here I want to talk to you about the quantum physics, because we don't want to put ourselves in the victim mentality. So here you go, as you said, this is a hologram, so we can actually today make a decision that we don't want to be a victim, that we actually changing our destiny. And what can we do?
That's a very good question. Thank you. First, what we need to do is to really learn the quantum structure. You have to master the quantum structure. You already are projecting everything, but it's basically randomly. You're not really controlling it. Somebody else is controlling you by media, by movies, by everything else you do. You don't have to be part of that type of a structure. You can create your own. You can create your own reality. You don't have to go into the negative structures. Because you're the pure vessel of all that. And then the other thing that I can suggest, if you would like to follow the detox, I posted detox videos on my YouTube channel. It's Marina Jacobi Detox, and this is exactly the way how the higher consciousness taught me to detox through the juicing. Was also elimination diet, and literally, to be honest, it took me 1 year my thyroid to get back to normal, because for 6 months I think I blew up like from size 2 to size 10, and I was going into 12, and I would not lose weight at all. and that was able to help me with that.
My cat wants to join us. My cat Sushi, of course. But so juicing. And if for those who are interested in juicing, of course, you can go to my website, olenkoskitchen.com. I have a juice cleanse. I have many recipes for juices. Of course, you can find, get it in my book, Raw Food Art. But was something interesting that I was. I've heard about this for some people that the detox that you follow, you do not mix fruits and vegetables. Can you talk about this a little bit?
Oh, yes. This is the way they taught me. They taught me not to mix fruits and vegetables because when you mix fruits and vegetables, they have a different component of resonance. And when you do that, they kind of don't mash in particles, and it becomes like fermentation. And when they ferment, you actually becomes like a gas mycotoxin that goes into your blood, and you actually not preserving nutrients, you actually depleting of nutrients. So that is fundamental if you want to follow that. Of course, you can have a joy time. Sometimes you want to mix something, or if you want to introduce something new to your kids. But keep in mind that if you really want to detox, and if you really, really have some kind of a problem that you want to take care of, including cancer and everything else, you can cure from juicing diet. And I'm sure Olenka has a lot of detox programs too for that. Just keep in mind that mixing fruits and vegetables will deplete you from nutrients.
Okay, and I want to address now the smoothies, because a lot of people, we love smoothies. Smoothies are great, but when and then a lot of clients tell me, I feel very bloated after I have a smoothie, because the smoothie has a pulp, and when you're drinking it, you actually like swallowing and you're not mixing with your saliva. So it's actually much better to put your smoothie in a smoothie bowl, eat it with the spoon, and then you're mixing in, so you don't kind of getting that air, and then you don't have, indigestion. I know smoothies are easier to do. I know some people don't have a juicer. If you don't have a juicer, what you can do, if you have a Vitamix or blender, what you can do, you can get a nut milk or strain it, and then you get the juice. The juice is like, I always say this, it's like a blood from plants. It's like an elixir. It's like, amazing, like a life force that plants are giving to us. That's, do you want to add something about that?
Yeah, I actually love your comment about the blood force. I think it was brilliant, that comment of putting this into fruition so people can understand better. It definitely is the blood force. I'm not saying that you cannot enjoy sometimes mixing fruits and vegetables if you want to go somewhere and just enjoy. But if you really want to detox and if you really want to heal, the protocol for that is definitely not mixing fruits and vegetables.
That's great. And I want to tell you, my cat didn't jump here, but he's sitting right there and listening. Do you want to do a juice fast, Sushi? My other cat, Kisha, is the one who likes all the veggies, but Sushi doesn't like veggies. But okay, so when we're talking about sushi, those are the things that you can do to actually help with your adrenals. Coconut oil, dates, nuts, seaweed, because we're very low in iodine, leafy greens and vegetables, herbs like ashwagandha, holy basil, and licorice root. So these are the things that you can do. This is something that you can find on my website or in my book. I want to ask you now, let's move on a little bit about something that, clients always ask me, this kind of diet, organic, is very expensive. So can we talk a little bit, I can afford it, about your manifestation of, how can we manifest abundance and prosperity and money that we can afford, all these things so we can detox?
The manifestation process is a certain protocol that, to make it in a short perspective, before you guys go and really study the videos that I was talking, Marina Jacobi, Quantum Manifestation, Part 1 and up to 4 or 5 now, you are the projection of your reality. You are a hologram. So anything you think of, anything you basically want to do, your feelings are projected into that hologram. So in turn, the quantum structure that you made of that energy, of that prana, comes back to you through manifestation. The goal is for you to know 100% that you have whatever you need, and to play the game of hide and seek. For example, you go into a room and you know that you having that clothes in this room, but you don't know where it is. And that's how the quantum structure is. You know that you have whatever you need, but you don't know where it's going to come from. And the belief system has to be 100%. And why is that? Because when you project your emotion of the thoughts 100%, the quantum structure, the prana, is actually mimicking that vibration, that sequence of geometry, and is giving you, and you projecting and shifting right into that reality, and you don't know where the things are going to come from, because the probabilities for manifestation is to infinity amount of numbers. Okay, there's no, it's infinite. So you have to let go, and every time you do this process, it has to be 100% of a belief system, because you cannot download the information 99%. You have to download it 100%. So when you think of reality, always think of a hologram, and you think of it that you are the projector of the hologram, that you are the creator of your prana, and prana you are, if we want to put it in that perspective.
And I do this when I go shopping. Like, I follow my intuition. Sometimes I'm like driving and I'm like, I'm going to go to, I don't know, Whole Foods. And I'm like, no, I have an intuition. Like, I'm going to go to H Mart because they have like good, and then I go and they have great sales, or like stuff that I maybe didn't need it today, but I need it like later, you know. So as you're saying, like the universe is always like providing for us.
The universe is to infinity probability. So everything you think of exists. And one of the bylaws that higher consciousness taught me was you cannot think of something if it doesn't exist in that prana. So anything you think of already exists in a prana, and you're co-creating it at the same time, because you have to know the vibration of that sequence in order to even come to your imagination. Okay, so if you think that you have something, you do have it. The only thing you have to be careful, are you doing it just from an ego, or you really need it? Because sometimes you may not be allowed from higher consciousness to manifest something like this, because it comes from the ego. An ego structure is a lower density. That's the reason why you will not be able to achieve a lot of stuff if it's coming from something like that. Well, there's actually, it's not exactly true, because there's the way you have the positive structure, you can have a very negative structure that can overtake energy, but this is the opposite of positive. And there's a consciousnesses that can take over energy. They can achieve great achievements of incredible wealth and power, but this is not from the heart structure. This is basically from the negativity of taking over without a permission. And when you do something like this, you're actually creating a karma of realities for yourself that in the end, you're going to have to pay for all that, you know, because you accumulated so much negativity. And it's not resonating with the heart structure of consciousness itself, because consciousness itself is slightly in a positive, because it has to exist. If it's only negative, it will completely destroy itself.
So I'm glad that you mentioned this, because sometimes, like for those who are maybe sick or not feeling good or struggling, it's just accept that where you are, and there are probably lessons that we all have to learn, and be grateful for those lessons. And we've talked about, like last week when we met in New York City, that, you know, sometimes things happen and maybe we don't understand them, but then they were lessons for us, and sometimes we can't just like override those lessons, yes, because we...
No, because if you have, before you come here on planet Earth to make an agreement that you want to be in this family and you want to experience this type of life, or you made an agreement, for example, the stuff you do is definitely agreement, the stuff I do is definitely agreement, especially right now, because it's the ascension of the planet Earth, and you need actually, everybody that came here is very strong soul, because we need to transform the energetic field from 3-dimensional to 5-dimensional. And that's, it's fundamental for us to understand, because you have to be very, very serious when you want to achieve something. In actuality, everything is possible. You just have to believe it in order to, you know, to switch it. When you know the quantum structure, the way they taught me, the way I'm teaching, everything becomes more easy and easier. And sometimes if you have to do something, if you have an agreement, for example, to go through experience, for example, your child got sick and your child has a cancer, you have to understand that that child made an agreement to go through something like this, because end up through the process, not only the child is learning the process of going through something medical that the consciousness for the child itself needed to go through, but also the entire family, for example, learning about non-GMO diet, about alternatives, how to heal itself. And there's a lot of stories like this. If you watch, there is a movie actually, it's called Lorenzo's Oil, what this woman and what this family went through. Amazing. And this kid went through so much pain, and in the end they discover a specific oil that was made and end up curing so many kids around the world. So sometimes you do sacrifice in the name of humanity, and this is exactly what is happening right now with everything we do. You do that because there is a reason to do it. Now it's up to you how well you're going to pass that, because you may have an agreement to come and do all that, but it's up to you if you choose to continue or all of a sudden stop all that. So it's always by a choice. Don't think that everything has to be, but if you have an agreement, you come here and you do it, but you may choose not to. And then you're not going to see the reality, basically, that you achieve greatness, for example, because you simply didn't want to take that path. So in turn, you're going to see a reality that is completely different.
This is great perspective. My grandmother, my Polish grandmother that I got so much inspiration from, she was a farmer, my grandparents were farmers, and she always told me, to respect the nature, to learn from nature and to share. So with that comes, I love sharing my food, I love sharing my recipes. When you come to my house, you're never gonna leave hungry, you know me, and then that's what you do. You're sharing your knowledge and your expertise and all this information that you're downloading from all this through channelings. And for those who are interested, Marina does her via Skype or phone, her readings. So if you're interested, she'd be happy to do a reading for you. Yes, and it's really awesome. Here we have a question. So let's see. So Lydia is asking about. Hold on. Something is depleted of nutrients. So does it mean that if we eat it 50% more of lettuce heads, we're gonna get more of that nutrients, or what can we do? Do we bless the food? If something we know it's not so good, maybe somebody lives in the area they don't have a lot of organic, or what those people can do? That's a very good question. At the moment, you can do whatever you can do because you may have a difficult time, for example, you're going through. But in actuality, if you know the structure, you have to 100% believe that you have everything you need. And through synchronicity, something will happen. For example, you can have a market opening up near you that all of a sudden will start carry organic, or in your previous organic store, like Stop and Shop is big now in organic, and oh my God, everything with gluten-free and non-GMO, it's huge, and it actually has more gluten-free products than Whole Foods, I've noticed. And that is fundamental to understand why it's so important to do the quantum structure and to learn how to do quantum manifestation, because everything is possible in your reality. If you believe that you cannot find organic food, that belief system, it's actually frequency. And whatever you believe in, project into the prana, into the quantum field, is that what you get back. So you have to shift your emotions and your thoughts of knowing that 100% you have everything you need. Take an action of looking for local stuff. Even if you don't see it, you have to keep projecting it. Because what you want to do is you want to override that reality that you're into and shift it to a new one that you created for yourself, that all of a sudden something happened. You may have a neighbor saying, hey, I came from this town, I can bring you every week some organic food. And the other probability is you guys know that there's a lot of shipments of organic food right to your door. So go on websites and go on Google, and there are so many organic places that literally ship a full box of organic food. So there's no reason except financial, and yet that is an illusion, because you can always say that you have everything you need. If you go to my quantum manifestation video, you're going to see my story, and my story was that I was not allowed to work. I literally had to stay home and do all that, and literally we had no penny in our bank account. And everything I did was through manifestation, through the quantum structure, the way they taught me. And you should see the riches that start coming up everywhere. So as long as you stay in your joy, and as long as you project in the positive,
from your heart structure. And as long as you 100% believe, this starting to manifest and create in your reality. So I would pull out of the belief system that you cannot have it. I will implement by knowing that 100% I have what I need, organic food, organic store, and keep projecting this on and on and on, even if you don't see it, because what you're going to do is you're going to override that reality and create a brand new that all of a sudden something like this will start coming near you. Or you can simply go online and order it.
And I do this. I've been getting from this local farms organic food for the last like 6 or 7 years from Mike's Organics, and it's great. Another thing what people can do, they can buy in bulks, like with friends, and get like big quantities and share it, and then it's much, much, less expensive. Or of course, you can plant a garden, grow your own herbs, stuff like this.
Or if you don't have a garden, you can ask your neighbor, listen, may I ask you if it's possible for me to plant organic plants and take care of the ground, and we can share. Don't think that this is not possible. Everything is possible in a quantum structure. Everything you think of. So take an action in order to infuse that reality for yourself. Don't feel ashamed or afraid of approaching something, because you're the creator. And what is so wrong of approaching somebody is saying something like this so you can share. That's how you start creating community and sharing. That's how you create in your own reality of basically communicating with others.
Perfect. Lydia, I know you said that your questions was about frequency. I'm not understanding the question. Could you type it again, because I didn't understand she was typing something. But okay, so let's go to the topic that I know a lot of people don't want to hear it. And for those who know me, they always see beautiful color food. And I promote this lifestyle because it's great for our health, it's great for the Mother Earth. But then, the reason why I stopped eating meat was because when I was a little girl in Poland, in my grandmother's farm, I saw what happened to my animals, chicken. And I just couldn't, I'm this kind of person, like I'm empath, and I feel others' energy. I felt like the pain of the chickens, and I said, I can't eat meat. So can you talk about a little bit, and I know people say, I can't live without meat, like I love meat, like it's so hard, like how can you eat all this veggies and stuff, like what do you have to say about this?
Well, very good question. Thank you. First of all, we all know that we are completely abusing the animals. None of these animals came to you and said, here you go, eat me, I'm yours. Nobody said that. And we are, when you end up going and abusing another being, because that's a being, by the way, the animals are extremely smart and they communicate telepathically. We are not, we've been indoctrinated to think that we have to eat them. In actuality, by your genetics, by the way, we change our genome, and I guarantee you that we are vegans. We're not meat eaters anymore, but nobody's going to tell you that publicly because it's billions of dollars of industry, not to mention that they're polluting everything through the waste of the animals. When you end up killing an animal and that animal went through a lot of stress, don't forget that we are made from that quantum prana structure. And once this animal, the animal is also projection of your consciousness from this structure. So the animal is part of you. So once you start doing something like this to another being or an animal, you're actually doing it to yourself. Because the consciousness is made of one particle that is flickering so quickly that is projecting next to itself, next to itself, next to itself, to infinite amount of number. So when you look at somebody, you actually look in yourself another version of a hologram of yourself. So you can have an experience. But that is the same with the animal. You projected that animal. So when you do that, this animal, you not only that you're doing it to yourself, but you're performing you're taking over energy. And when you take over energy, that comes into your being. So that's how you become sick. That's how you become, and you start feeling the pain eventually. And you're wondering why so many negative things start happening to you, because you've been accumulating that energy that is negative. And in the meantime, how would you feel if somebody comes and start eating you or slaughtering you, your children? what makes us better to do that what makes it right to do that to an animal that is actually another being? Because a lot of these beings that I'm talking about, they look like a different beings. They're not totally look like us. Well, animal is part of that.
I completely agree. And a few things, there were actually studies done that when they were feeding vegetarian, vegan diets in the prisoners in prisons, actually their violent and their thoughts, like before they were depressed, it went down, because actually this kind of lifestyle, it really made them, plus they were meditating and practicing yoga and doing some kind of arts and some kind of physical activity, but that kind of diet really made them calmer, and and made them, just brought them peace. Another thing, when people say, yes, but our ancestors in the long millions of years ago, they used to eat meat, but we are not living in those times. There are so many choices today, so why would you choose hurting and taking somebody's energy, right?
I want to put something in perspective because of what I know. What makes you think that we were not being manipulated to eat meat? What makes you think that we could not have just eaten plants?
Probably, but maybe because it was cold and everything. It's all possible. And our teeth really are not like my cat's teeth. They're big. He's supposed to be eating meat. Our teeth supposed to be grinding, fruits and vegetables. So
there is also another perspective of the fact that the meat, not only that the meat has a different density, but also the plants are much higher resonance than the meat. And actually, if any doctor tells you that you need meat in order to grow mass and stuff like this, yeah, you may end up doing that, but in actuality, amaranth has more protein than the meat.
Mm-hmm. All this spinach and all these different vegetables.
A lot of veggie, a lot of plants that are much higher in protein than the meat. We simply not taught that in schools.
And I'd be happy to introduce you to my friends who are vegan bodybuilders, and they have huge muscles. They training, they running marathons, and they look amazing, and they're eating plant-based diet. Think of the bigger animals on the planet: giraffes, gorillas, elephants. What do they eat? They eat plants. They don't eat meat. So
yeah, very good point. Thank you. Yes.
And then I talk about this in my book, in my first book. The second book is that is coming soon is going to be talking more about like plant-based diet, which is like more gluten-free. So because a lot of people, we know that it's very hard to just be eating 100% raw. I don't even eat 100% raw, but when you including a lot of raw food, juicing, yes, salads, smoothies, and all these other things, and eating maybe a little bit like quinoa, amaret, some healthy, maybe some forbidden rice or sweet potatoes, stuff like this. You're gonna thrive. You're gonna feel good. Yes, and you can help humanity. Yes, you can help all these people that they need you. So, do you want to add something to that?
Well, definitely, that doesn't mean that you have to constantly be in a raw diet. That's a choice, okay? But when you have plant diet, is the best thing to do, not only for yourself energetically, but also for the planet, and you're saving the animals, which are basically part of your consciousness. And you can enjoy sometimes cooked food once in a while, some baked potato or salad or something like this. But the juicing was mainly fundamental for the ones that want to go into vegetarianism and really, really want to raise the frequency, or completely detox and cure from cancer or some other diseases.
Mm-hmm. Which they can follow, like Garson Institute. I mean, there's so many people who talk about juicing. These are things that they know.
And I want you to also look into MMS from Jim Humble.
Okay. So for those, maybe I will put some links later. Here, another question: what about references in the Bible to eating meat where there was no food, and even like animal sacrifices, in the Bible? Because
well, that's what I thank you for mentioning that. But that's
a question.
What makes you think that what kind of a God will actually sacrifice animal on the altar? I'm believing in force. I believe in energy and everything else. I was raised a Christian, but I always question everything, because religion, since the particle is unity, so consciousness is unity, how come we already all of a sudden separated in different gods? It's impossible. That means you have to really start thinking for yourself, what is the agenda behind all that, and why is that happening? Consciousness itself is pure love, pure creation, prana, a God particle itself. Your God you are is nobody outside of you except whatever you're projecting and whatever you see. So you have to ask all your questions before you make a decision, and know that everybody that you see, every person that you see is part of your own consciousness, is literally projection of you. It's mimicking you.
And this is great perspective, because I just feel like with the last few months, with all this, Trump being president, and there's so much hatred, there's so much conflict, there's so many wars, and the more you adding of that hatred and this negative energy, we're creating this, as you're saying, the
more
future.
you're infusing the reality of that.
So, so just look at everything from, as I say, from the eyes of compassion, and just send love, and sometimes people don't know any better. Sometimes there are different reasons, or they are learning the lessons, or we are learning the lessons, because sometimes we have to see the pain, we have to see the contract, we have to live through the contrast in order to see the lesson, or to learn the lesson. Yes? Yes,
you have to know. How would you know what is positive when you never experience the negative? You have energy is energy, simply is energy. You have to know how to construct it and deconstruct it, and what we do with it. That's why your experience is for here. So don't make a judgment of the rest of the people, what they're doing. Sometimes it's painful, and I understand. Sometimes I make a comment and I'm trying to control my emotion of not to judge whatever people do. But once you start getting the knowledge, little by little it's starting to penetrate in your consciousness and becomes part of your daily life, of your being, to resonate constantly in a positive.
Perfect. And now I want to say something. So I think it's time to have a little fun. Maybe I'm going to be showing people some tips that they can use to raise their consciousness. And I don't want to be like, I don't want this live streaming be so like serious, but it's serious stuff, but we can talk about in a fun way. So for those again who are joining, where are your adrenals? You're going to get a gift from me. It's going to be a really nice gift. So if you know how to locate your adrenals, just type. And because we were talking about adrenal fatigue, and you have to probably, if you're just joining now, I know I see a lot of people are watching, you have to, watch it from the beginning. But so do you want to add something before we move on to the fun part?
No, I'm just going to go
with the flow?
Whatever you think.
Do you know what we're going to do?
No.
Okay, so it's a surprise. So because usually I cook in my, in my kitchen, but of course I can't, I couldn't, we actually in my husband's office. But so here I have a basket, of course, me with fruit. I don't have any fruits and veggies, but I'm going to be showing you some things that, here is my basket with goodies. And so I'm going to be showing you things that you can, use every day to improve your longevity, make you feel better, help you with your detox and everything. And again, whatever we're saying and it resonates with you, fine. Of course, contact your medical professional if you have questions. And, because I'm a health coach, Marina is a coach, but yes, if you have any questions, always, talk to your doctors. And if if you have a different perspective on what we're saying, because I know for some of you, maybe this is like kind of shocking, we just want to, I just want to have these conversations with different my friends and different entrepreneurs, and I have so many amazing friends from all different genres of life, and I'm going to be having these conversations because I want to start conversation with you, everybody, so you're going to start asking questions, educate yourself, ask questions, look around and talk to other people, network, because that's what the life is about, like having fun, as you say. It's supposed to be an enjoyment, like you said, like a game. What did you say before to me?
Yes, everything is, you're the one, your consciousness itself, so you're projecting everything in your hologram, so take it as a game. You're the main character. You're in a hologram, you're playing a game. And when you know is that, just have fun.
Awesome. So now, the best thing, of course, drink a lot of water. I don't know if you can see it here and start your day with lemon. I'm not going to put the whole lemon. This is organic lemon, but what you can do, so this is organic lemon. You cut it in half, you squeeze it, and you want to get the rim of the lemon because this makes you alkaline. So if you start your day like this is going to be perfect before you have your coffee, and we're going to get to there. Do you drink lemon water, Marina?
At the moment, I'm only on honey and organic raw honey and distilled water. This is my protocol.
But for us, this is good?
Yes, of course, because
Yes.
it's alkaline, it's pH for your body.
Okay, so another thing that people can definitely add will be ginger. Add ginger and turmeric to your diet. They're anti-inflammatory. They will help you. So this is my big jar with turmeric, and this is ginger. So you can, you can make so many remedies with ginger and turmeric. Mine is sprouting. I don't know if you can see it, but it's sprouting. So you can, use, this is the real one. You can put in your juices, smoothies, put in the salads, or you can use the powder, of course. It helps you with digestion. It's a warming herb, so, and then turmeric too. It's great. So do you use these, ginger and turmeric, Marina?
Yes, I do. Actually, I've heard about the turmeric, that it has to be the root of the turmeric that is really...
it's much potent. Yeah, I don't have it at home, but usually I buy it, yes.
Yes.
It stains. Be careful, because the color, it stains everything. Like, it's going to stain your clothes and everything. Another thing that you can add is maca powder. This actually helps you balance your... it's a superfood. It comes from Amazon jungle, so you can use it, in your smoothies, or I put in my raw chocolate. This is something really cool. Ashwagandha root. It's really good if you have adrenal fatigue. It actually calms you down, and it's really good. So here I have, actually, it's do you use this? Did you ever use this herb?
What is that?
Ashwagandha root.
No, I actually never heard of it.
It's it comes like from India. It's like for thousands of years. It's really great for
I need to learn some stuff from you about that.
Sure. We have to do a cooking like dulse. So this is dulse. This is one of the sea vegetables. So seaweed, dulse, kelp, all these things, this is spirulina or chlorella, all these sea...
very high in iron intake, especially for
and iodine too, which we are depletion, so depleted. So this is very good for your thyroid, and it's very good for your adrenals. Holy basil. Have you ever had holy basil tea?
No, I never did.
Again, it's really great. It's comes from Ayurvedic tradition. It's really good for your chi, for your prana. It calms you down. It's great again for your adrenals. And of course, here I have a coconut. This one, it's a big coconut, but use some coconut meat, drink coconut water. This is really great. Do you want to add anything to, did I forget about something?
Yes, I think coconut is really, especially the coconut oil, the coconut butter, the raw and organic one is very good for the body. Actually, that's what I use for any type of cream. I don't use anything else. It says coconut. Butter and raw organic non-GMO honey to make a mask on my face, because if you leave the honey for a couple of hours, after a while when you wash it with warm water, you literally have hardly any wrinkles. It's almost like a Botox, but it has to be raw and organic non-GMO honey.
Okay, and now with going to honey, I know a lot of vegans are going to be upset because they're going to say honey is not vegan, but I have my own theory about that, but we're not going to
I don't see it like that. My guidance never told me anything negative. As long as the honey is harvested in a humane way, why not have that? It's coming from the plants, actually, the nectar from the plants. Why would you take that as actually something else than actually plantation type?
Because usually, like how they make the honey, they steal the honey from the bees and they give them the sugar, just, processed sugar, and that's very inhumane. But we're talking about, but we're talking about, the right way.
Organic forms.
Yes,
I've noticed with the organic forms, they have a completely different process of harvesting that.
And then they just take it a little bit, and actually they help the bees. They protect them.
Want to keep the what do you call it? The combs of the
honeycomb.
The honeycomb, because it's humane for them.
Yeah, and they keep it, and they actually help it, because there's so many bees dying, around the world because the pesticides, herbicides. My husband is saying, "Great, we're talking about detox, and I'm drinking tequila. It looks like water." Right? Go ahead, Bill. So. Very interesting interview. Yes, I'm going to be having a lot of interesting interviews, not just cooking, because I want to show you a different perspective, so because to make you just question and then just get educated. Now, above kidneys, Susan you're gonna get a prize from me. So please send me your address through the messenger, Susan Gabriel, and I'm gonna send you a gift.
Susan.
She says
really
above kidneys. So yeah, above kidneys. Our kidneys are in the lower back here, and then on the top of them, actually adrenals. And actually, I think it comes from the Greek word something above kidneys, and they very little. And really, it's like batteries. Like our body really like runs on them. So when we overwork ourselves, always going. They just kind of like, when you have a shortage in a blackout, all of a sudden you have no power. So that's what happened. And then you really have to take care of our adrenals. Do you want to add something to that?
As they said before, the adrenals are the ones that converting the energy into to flush everything out. So if you have the proper diet, they're gonna work with full capacity. You won't. Oh, and they talk about a lot of times the adrenals are getting a specific inflammation, and the inflammation is coming from all that diet. So if they're sluggish, they're talking about sluggish. If they're sluggish, then they cannot breathe, and this is causing more diseases into whatever parts of your body is, because it's not draining you out. So in turn, it goes into the bloodstreams, and you get an internal inflammation.
Yes, and for those who are joining, so adrenal fatigue, this is how you know when you have adrenal fatigue. But again, check with your doctors. When you get up, like when you're down, maybe you're gardening, or maybe, you're doing something down, playing with your kids and pets, and you're getting up and then you feel dizzy. That's one way you know adrenal. Maybe your blood pressure is very, very low. You can't sleep. You get very tired in the afternoon. And then at night, you're getting like this rush, like 10 o'clock at night, and then you can't sleep. I know people who stay up till like 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, and then in the morning, they can't wake up because they're just so exhausted. And what else? How else
Before
do you know?
nighttime, before you go to bed, I was told to take 1 big tablespoon of honey with water. And that will actually will make you actually sleep nicely, because it has something to do with the nutrients of the honey is basically supporting you, and you're not getting sleepless night.
Also, another thing what you can do, you can make a golden milk, which is like maybe coconut milk or almond milk, and you put some turmeric, and then you can put some dates, or if you use honey, you can put honey and drink that, and that's really good calming for your adrenals, and it helps you relax. Of course, don't watch news at night, don't play any violent games, or watch all this violent stuff, because then then you're gonna have nightmares and you won't be able to sleep. So you want to relax, turn off your lights when you're on the devices like computers or iPhones. That light from the actually stimulates our brain, and we our brain thinks it's a daytime. So I know a lot of us now are always on the internet, always on the devices, and then we can't sleep. So I think there is some kind of app that you can like dim your screen to make it red instead of blue, and then it changes so your brain thinks it's like a nighttime. But you can use essential oils, crystals, take a nice bath, and so to just make yourself more relaxed. Do you want to add something to that?
Actually, what I know fundamental for going at nighttime to sleep and to have a good sleep, I've studied this when I try to do lucid dreaming. And when one of the fundamental things to have a very good night's sleep was when you go to sleep, make sure that you get in a very comfortable position and try not to move, because it takes certain time in order to the brain to register that and put you into REM basically right before sleeping, and you're going to have a very pleasant sleep. You cannot move because the brain is registering something different.
Yeah, you can listen to like relaxing music.
Yes.
And don't drink a lot of water, because like I do sometimes, I drink a lot of water and then I have to wake up and go to the bathroom. I actually sleep on a biomat. Do you know what that is? Biomat?
No.
It's a mat. It's a mat made of crystals. It's made of amethyst. It's 30 pounds of amethyst. It's amazing. And you can, I will send you some information. It's really cool. So you can use like essential oils, because, they help us with the frequency. But here, so I know people, and I'm talking to you, Eileen, my friend Eileen, who says, I can't wake up in the morning. I'm so tired, but then she'll be drinking coffee at night. And sometimes espresso, like 2 of them, and then she tells me she can't sleep. Do you have to say something about coffee and caffeine? Like what, do you getting any?
I know a lot of people drink a lot of coffee. There are substitutes for coffee. I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna show them.
Yeah, I really
Look,
forgot the names. You're more master of that. But no, actually, they never gave me permission to drink a coffee because it has something to do with the energy of the body. Is not really bad, but you should avoid basically coffee. I never in my diet, whatever I was advised for them, allow me to drink coffee.
Okay, so I'm not trying to, tell you don't drink coffee, don't drink alcohol, don't drink wine, because sometimes you have a special occasion and you want it. But I know people who drink, they start in the morning, they can't even wake up without coffee. They drink 10 cups of coffee. At night, they drink coffee, like my friend Eileen, and then she can wake up the next day. Then she's waking up the whole night and she can't drink, she can't sleep. So just, eliminate, like you said, elimination diet. So drink less. And here I'm going to show you some things. I'm not getting any money for all these products. I'm just showing you because I use them and I love them. So I'm just sharing with you. This company, Ticino, I don't know if you can see it. Ticino, it's great. It's made of from licorice and other dates and other. So it's all herbal, natural, and this one has figs and dates. And how you can do it, how I quit my coffee, you put it. So this is like a powder one. You put it if you have like a pot. You mix it with coffee and half of Ticino.
Is
and
that
the next
gluten free? Actually, is this?
It's gluten free.
Oh,
it's
because I
gluten-free.
had one that was not had a gluten inside, and I end up bringing it to my house.
No, this one is gluten-free. And then what you do, you take it like the next day you put less coffee, like regular coffee, and more Ticino. And the next time, so you gradually, drinking more Ticino. And I have a lot of recipes. I make frozen, like cappuccinos with this. On my website, you have pumpkin spice, like kind of, how Starbucks has, all these different, fun things. So I make it in the healthy way. So check them out. It comes in many, many different flavors, and it also comes in tea bags. So if you don't want to, if you just want to pour the hot water, it's really, really great company. Another, so you never tried it?
I've tried one time. Somebody made something like this for me, and I had coconut cream milk. It was absolutely delicious. I could not believe the taste. I
Awesome.
don't know about that.
This company, Four Sigmatic, actually there is coffee in this, but this coffee, for those who really love coffee, they have medicinal mushrooms in it, all this chaga and reishi mushrooms. So you're getting like extra things, you're getting like extra nutrition and superfoods with your coffee. So if you really cannot live without coffee, just to eliminate, drink more juice, more, orange juice, drink some oranges, coconut water. And if you really want a coffee, check them out, have good things too. Did you ever hear of this company?
No, I never heard of that company. No.
It comes in the powders and like in the little tea bags, or it comes also like you can just brew your coffee. Another coffee, so this is something I bought in Poland, but I'm sure it comes in this company. This coffee is made of, what are these guys? Acorns.
They're talking about the camera, for you to move the camera of the face, something.
Move the camera of the face.
Yeah.
Here? Okay, so this is acorn coffee. So it comes from I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? So yeah, because I have computer, I have screen here and screen. It's very confusing. So
lift up a little bit more.
Okay, here. So this is actually Polish, so you won't be able to understand it, but it comes from acorn. So there's even acorn flour. So this is really, really good. Native American Indians used to use it, but this, it's good for your liver. It helps you detox. Moringa powder and moringa oil. This is natural, made of plants. It gives you energy too. And this actually, I will show you how moringa looks like. So this, you can actually cook it. So it's like a little, I don't know, can you see this? So there are many, many things that you can use, and there are many companies actually now that there's my cat. Kisha, what, you want to come say hi? I don't know. So there are many companies that you can try. Here I also have green coffee, which is, is not roasted, so it has more nutrition. So if you really love your coffee, there are always alternatives. So check your local stores, websites, because really those days there's so much, so many alternatives for all sorts of people. So there's no, we shouldn't be saying I can't, because yes, we can. Do you want to add anything?
Everything is possible. I would definitely, if you want to try something new, you should gradually go into it. You can do it at once, but if you, for example, be drinking coffee for so long, you're going to shock your body system. So my suggestion is gradually to implement the new juice or whatever, or coffee replacement that you want in order for you to not give a shock in your system.
Exactly, because sometimes that's what I'm saying. Like, don't just drop the, if you just say I'm not. If you're drinking 10 cups of coffee and now you're gonna say tomorrow I'm not drinking any coffee, you're probably gonna have side effects. You may have headache. You're definitely gonna feel fatigue because it's like your body is used to that. So slowly, I always feel like just take your time, and slower is always better because then you're actually gonna stick to it. It takes actually 21 times for us to to learn to stick with something new. For taste buds for 21 days. Try something new and then see how it goes. So don't rush it. And I'd be happy if you wanna send me a message. I'd be happy to help you with your protocol or help you like write a detox protocol for you. So anything else you want to add, Marina? I don't know if I bumped the camera or something.
No, don't worry about the camera. It's fine. Just move the mouse. See the mouse pointers on our face?
No.
Yeah, see the pointer? See the arrow? There you go.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
All good.
Okay.
Great.
I don't know what I did, but so anything else? Can you have your phone? Okay. Anything else we should add to?
It's awesome.
This class?
I think for everybody, the way I was told, elimination diet is fundamental, and if you want to eliminate the protocol, the way I was taught from the high consciousness was every 2 weeks you eliminate something. While you're doing the juicing, or while you're doing something else, you start eliminating, the first 2 weeks you eliminate the meat, but could be only the beef. Then the next 2 weeks you eliminate the pork. And in the meantime, you're juicing, you're implementing the raw diet, or you do a lot of shakes. And little by little, you're going to teach the body, and you're not going to feel such a pressure or shock in your immune system that you actually end up eliminating something. It's going to be a very smooth and slow transition, which you will enjoy, actually, because at the same time you can replace it with a lot of other stuff that are very, very tasty. Actually, if you taste raw cakes, I did one at home and I tasted before. They're absolutely delicious. There's a lot of food in there that we don't know because we were never taught to.
Exactly. And in my book, you have lots of recipes for raw cakes.
Oh, definitely. I love your book. Oh, my God. When I saw it, I was like, this is somebody that is so talented.
Oh, thank you. And I can't wait for my second book, which is coming soon. But so for those who are interested, I have a Facebook group, 21 Days Transformation to Plant-Based Diet. I'd be happy to add you and check out Marina's juicing videos and about quantum
manifestation.
Quantum manifestations. I see a lot of people are joining. So if you have any questions now for Marina, but at the end, I think we've been going on, an hour and 15 minutes. So at the end, I want to talk, so of course, with detox comes exercise, breathing, the stress, going to the nature, doing something fun. Yes. So what do you like to do for fun, Marina?
Me, I like actually watching the 18th century movies, anything, like Jane Austen and stuff like that. I like good ending, something like this. I don't know why I'm drawn to these movies, and I love sci-fi movies. I absolutely love, but it's so much negativity and overtaking. The only good movie I've seen is E.T., and I think it was some other movie, only a couple of movies. Everything else is just, I think, on purpose, in a hologram, so we be afraid of different life form that is beyond the planet Earth. I mean, I think it was done on purpose, but I love any type of movies.
I think you should write a script, because I know you wanted to be an author.
Oh my God, yes, I was like 10 years old. I wanted to write an extraterrestrial.
So there you go. You can still.
My harmonic reactor and my nanotechnology is all for you from the higher consciousness. So that's it. It's there.
But I'm saying in the script, so they can actually make a movie.
I'm not going to write a script. I want to be in the movie.
Oh, you want? We all want to be in that ship. I know. I want to be in that ship too.
I know.
So any questions for Marina? Let me see. well, I don't know if I think we've covered a lot. I know people are going to be watching this later. So again, you can find Marina's on her website, marinajacobi.com, and I'm going to put the link. And she has a lot of videos on YouTube. She's been interviewed for so many different people. She works with scientists around the world. She does the readings if you have specific questions that you want to ask her. So did I forget something? I don't know.
No, you did great.
Any questions, guys?
Any questions? And
for Marina, I just see like love and hearts, but no questions.
Oh, lots of hearts. Okay, people maybe had enough. You know.
What time is it now? So I think that's really good, and I think. And yes,
it's great.
It's great, and then I think I'm sure there's going to be another interview with you because you have so much information, and Marina is just such an amazing person, energy philanthropist, and I love this. What is energy philanthropist? We never explained.
Energy philanthropy is when I start downloading the materials, and I was not allowed, first of all, to talk for at least a year what I know. Because I was releasing very advanced technologies, and when a lot of people start looking for me after I release everything for sessions or something like this, they told me in no circumstances to charge people any money. And I wanted to understand why, since I am still supporting my family. And they told me, they actually taught me the money structure from the quantum field. Actually, money is also energy, is also a timeline of reality. So if you go to Marina Jacobi, money structure is basically part of quantum manifestation 1904. Money structure, you're going to see the platform, the hologram of how everything is. And what they said is, if you put a condition to somebody and charge somebody $50 or $100, whatever you do for your work, basically you put in this code into the quantum structure, the prana. But if you put that code in the prana, the only way the code that is going to give you back is almost like a quantum computer, is going to give you back conditioning that the only abundance that you can have is through the money. In actuality, to infinity, to probabilities of infinity, you can manifest whatever you want. For example, as if you're charging the person money, you can give out of your heart and let the person, they say, decide to donate for your cause. Because this way you're teaching the person to start giving from their hearts whatever they can give you without overtaking energy. And money is part of the structure. I'm not rejecting the money. I'm not rejecting the money, but it's integration so we can move towards whatever we need, because through the money you can support somebody's work so they can do their work properly without you being in condition with that person. This way, not only that we exchange in energy, but we exchange in energy through the heart structure, not through the condition. And that was fundamental for them to understand, because I asked a lot of questions, and people asking, how can you do that? How can you manifest? All these teachings is into the quantum structure of manifestation. Pretty soon I'm going to go to Master Octave, which is in Newport, New Jersey, and there I'm going to teach hands-on classes. It's almost going to be like a lecture. So you're going to a school, and it's going to be also broadcasted, so it's going to be very precise exactly how things are going. So this is what they said is energy philanthropy, because I said one day to them, well, if I had a lot of money, I would definitely give everything to everybody and I'm going to share. And they said, well, what makes you think that you're not doing this already? I said, what do you mean? And they said, well, since everything is energy, money is also part of energy. If you replace giving from the heart, the money energy with giving of the heart, then you're energy philanthropist. And I go, oh my God, this is exactly true. So I've launched energy philanthropy because I want for us to help each other and support each other. Because if you come to me or anybody that you like and you want to support that person, supporting from their heart without a condition. And that is very challenging for everybody, because some people have a lot of bills to pay, and I do understand that. But if you listen to my story, I was thrown right into leave everything, leave work, leave everything. We literally had nothing in our pockets, and I had to keep projecting and helping people, the only thing they ask me to keep projecting and keep learning the quantum structure of manifestation. And the stories and the quantum manifestation that I say there, it's just phenomenal, because I end up projecting abundance for myself from to infinity probabilities that I got, and all that stories are there. I strongly suggest you guys look into it. I'm not putting the conditions for you. If you want to come and if you want to have a session, be there. I'm there to help you. If you wish to support my cause, so I can support my family, there's no condition for you, whatever you wish to. So because the whole thing is here, we have to move to fifth dimensional structure of abundance, and the only way to do that if you're abundance yourself. So if you want to support the cause of somebody, do it from your heart, because you're teaching yourself really, truly, without a condition, to give to somebody. And that is an incredible experience. I'm sure most of you probably end up giving to somebody something and you feel such a joy to support that person. That it's a different frequency and it's a different timeline that you're projecting in your consciousness and you're shifting into. That is what is so important to understand. By you being that frequency of love and giving without a condition, it's you projecting in turn a hologram of earth that you're creating that is without a condition for you. And in turn you may have new cities, new technologies, free energy, that all of a sudden you create utopia society that is based on ecosystems of sacred geometry and free energy devices that we all know that is there. It's a lot of patents, thousands of patents that are being suppressed because but you can create your own reality. You can make everything possible for you. And that's what is the quantum structure of manifestation about.
What a beautiful message.
Thank you.
I love you so much. And yeah, unconditional love all the way. So if people want to check out Harmonic Reactor book and nanotechnology books, it's like science. I mean, when you read this, you'll be like, oh my God, this little beautiful girl wrote that.
The fifth domain, the Harmonic Reactor and the nanotechnology, it's fifth dimensional structure. This means when I downloaded that information from the higher consciousness, it was given in a specific sequence. Some of the sentences may not make too much sense to you, even if it's very scientific. But what you're doing, because you're part of consciousness, you're part of the quantum structure, you're actually, when you're reading it, not only that you rewiring your synapses of your brain into fifth dimensional sequence, because every word is a vibrational sound. So when you read these books, you crystallize in fifth dimensional structure vibration, including you giving probabilities in your reality for new free energy technologies. And once you penetrate that, you're going to broadcast this no matter where you go, because your consciousness is absolute broadcast of everything you think and everything you do. You pure energy device. That's what we are. So that's why I don't feel that you don't know enough. Keep in mind that I was not born a scientist. I did not go to scientific school to do that. But what I did, what they taught me is I got the information from the higher consciousness. They taught me to go to listen to certain scientists. And yes, I've learned certain quantum structures and stuff, but I'm not a scientist. I got the stuff from a different perspective, and my understanding of everything comes simultaneously. That is the fifth dimensional thinking. You are instructing information simultaneously from the quantum structure of the prana, that everything is available simultaneously, instantaneously. So when you need information, you just ask the question. Not only that it's downloaded simultaneously to you, but you get image of it the way I do. Whatever I can do, so can you. If I'm expression of you into your quantum field of yourself, that means I'm you and you and I. So you can do exactly what I do if you just follow the structures that I was taught. That's all.
Beautiful message. I just love her. Don't you love? Oh yeah, a lot of people saying wonderful messages.
Thank you.
So thank you so much. So yeah, if you want to do a readings with Marina, contact her on Facebook, on her website, and follow her work. And she's just so amazing. And imagine the world that we live with, equality, love, joy, arts, music, and we can just create all these beautiful things.
And remember, in order to see that, you have to believe it and you have to be it. You have to project it. You don't have to see it to believe it. You have to be it and project it to see it. That's the quantum structure.
as I always say, keep shining your beautiful light. So keep shining your beautiful light. All of you keep shining your beautiful light. It was such a pleasure having you. Please share this message because Marina's work needs to be spread all around the world. You know, this is something that, you know, people need to, you know, to hear. So love you so much. Thank you so much for being here. And, you know, I talk to you soon. I'll be doing more
I love you
cooking
too.
classes.
Thank you so much. I love your work, and I totally appreciate of having me. And pretty soon we'll talk and we'll do a show with you. So it's
and I will have you back, I'm sure. I'm sure people are going to have more questions.
Yes, sure.
Okay. Okay, I love you so much. Good night. Thank you so much,
Bye,
everybody.
everybody.
Bye.
Everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. I don't know if I'm still on. If I'm on, you know, make sure you follow me on OlenkaSkitchen.com, and you follow Marina at marinajacobi.com. You know, her work is truly, truly amazing. So have a good night, everybody. Live, love, light, and fruits from Olenka's Kitchen. Bye. Good night. Dobranoc in Polish. I'm gonna drink some water.
Bye.
Oh, there's my hubby. Thank you. Thank you for doing all the technological stuff.
I took acrobatics.
Oh, you did acrobatics. We have green screen behind me, so that's why you don't see the room behind me. So I wanted you to see more Marina. Okay, thank you, Bill, for your you know, you had your whiskey. I'm having my water. Have some water
Not
too.
tequila. I'm
oh,
gonna
yeah,
watch
tequila.
The Rangers now.
Okay, he's going to watch. Enjoy. Do something that brings you joy.
Okay.
Yes.
Bye.
I have the best husband in the world. Thank you.
Right now, there's only half of me on the screen.
And if you want to be interviewed, you know, if you want to be, you know, on my show, you're doing something amazing from humanity, please send me a message and I'd be happy to, you know, to interview you and, you know, talk to you. Okay?
We match. We both have gray.
Yeah, we both have gray. Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Show's over.
Show is over. That's a wrap.